Amani Channel here with a quick presentation on the 3 basics of good videos. If you're interested in following me on Twitter, you can reach me at Urban Reporter or at Visual Eye Media. And let's get into it. So what are the elements? Well, there's basically just 3 elements of good video. All right, you have to have good audio, good video, and good pictures. All right, just want to keep it simple. Just want to give you 3 basic principles that you always need to think about as you're creating your media. So what do we mean by good audio? Well, first of all, audio is going to come in the form of either interviews or ambient sound. Interviews are, of course, conversations that you may have with an expert or a witness. If you're talking about like more of a journalism piece. Ambient sound would be natural sound in the room. If you're outside shooting a downtown shot, you might need some city sound to go along with whatever you're shooting. So maybe some buses going by or just the hustle and bustle. Okay, but always remember that a microphone is always best for interviews. So anytime you're capturing any sort of interview sound, you want to use a microphone. There are different microphones that are out there on the market, some inexpensive, some a little bit more costly, some of the more professional microphones. But anytime you're shooting interview sound, a microphone is always best. Now, if you don't have an external mic, your life isn't over, all right, with your video. But you need to make sure that the ambient sound is minimal. I've produced many podcasts for the web, and even in broadcast television, sometimes you use natural sound that ends up being the main sound in a story. But you need to make sure that if you're using, like, especially voices and people talking, that you don't have a lot of ambient sound that will interfere with the message, that will interfere with what the person is saying. All right, so now we're talking about video. All right, so you need good video. That's the second point. Basically, with interviews, if you're shooting an interview, you need to make sure that you frame your shot. And during the interview, you need to keep the shot still. Okay, focus on the subject, watch your viewfinder, make sure that you're not watching with your eyes, make sure you're watching with the camera, because when you're using a camera, when you're recording video, the camera is essentially the eyes. And so if you keep your eye on the viewfinder, focus on the viewfinder and not try to watch with your eyes, that's going to help you make sure you keep your shot still, make sure your framing is fine. If you're shooting B-roll or footage, you need to learn your basic 3 shots. These are used in films, in video, in news stories, in any sort of TV production. And the 3 shots are WS, which stands for wide shot. So that would be a setup shot, a shot to establish location, a medium shot, and then a close-up. A medium shot might be a shot of a person from the waist up performing some sort of whatever they're doing. And a close-up would be a more intimate shot, maybe some hands doing some intricate work, maybe eyes. And of course, I'm not mentioning here cutaways, which are shots that cut away from the action, but I'm just trying to give you the basics here. So wide shot, medium shot, and close-up are your 3 basic shots, okay? So what you want to do is, after you frame your shot, then you hit record, and then you record your footage, okay? And then you want to record for 10 to 15 seconds, whatever the action is. Don't move the camera. If you want to zoom in, stop recording, actually physically, and walk and the camera closer to the subject or to what you want to shoot, and then get your close-up that way. That's going to help avoid shake. That's going to help your shots be steady and still. Remember, you want to treat your video camera like it's a still camera, like it's a picture camera. All right, you want still shots, you want good pictures. All right. And that brings us to our last point, which is good pictures. So, good video, good pictures is kind of like in the same category, but with good pictures, you want to make sure your lighting is fine, right? So you might have, if you're shooting video, you might not have, the video might be fine, but the pictures might not be. So what are some things you can do to improve your pictures? Well, watch your lighting. If you're indoors, you want to use lights, or maybe use a window to light the subject. Watch out for a person being backlit though. You'll create a silhouette effect. You want to avoid that. If you're outdoors, make sure you use the sun to your advantage. So place the subject that you're interviewing, have the sun face their face. So the sun is actually being used as the light source. All right. For composition, you want to learn the rule of thirds. I'm not going to get too much into the rule of thirds, but you want to learn the rule of thirds. It's a photography composition rule. It's applied also to video. I would suggest that you learn it. And you want to control the set, all right, and capture the moment. Controlling the set means you're controlling the situation. You're not letting people who may be interfering, or they might want to put rabbit fingers up behind an interview subject or whatever it may be. And you want to capture the moment, okay? You want to learn how to capture the moment always without taking away from the message or the story that you're trying to tell. Okay, so that's basically it. I wanted to keep this really short for you, but remember the 3 basics of good video, good audio, good video, good pictures. I'm Amani Channel. You can reach me at Urban Reporter or Visual Eye Media on Twitter, or email me at info@visualeyemedia.com. Thank you so much.